if anyone would like to chime in on some of those aspects, go ahead.
Got every rush to the stage.
I don't know what was covered. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. So, for example, like CigarDM passed it off to me first to go over some of the pros or benefits of pros and cons actually of running homebrew games. Coming up with your own content, coming up with your own material and whatnot, and running your own game. And he covered all the pros and cons of running modules. And we know that there are some individuals that absolutely hate module play, and that's fine.
Yeah. Nope. And that way.
That's perfectly fine. Relying on someone else to write your content for you. I can see why some people are not so happy with that. Me, I've done both module and homebrew. I do prefer homebrew to modules. I mean, I just have more narrative control over the world as it is, rather than a module. So, yeah, that's basically what we went over last night in gatekeeping.
Building crafting.
And a little bit of crafting.
Well, I would say for module play, you have a lot of DMs out there that they're shackled by the current edition of the world's most popular RPG because it is readily available, and any crafted module has a team of people, sometimes affiliated, sometimes not, that they make BTTs, and a lot of these guys aren't like me. They don't have this. They don't have miniatures. They don't have battle mats. They don't have scenery, but they can get a VT cranked out, and they can get some pogs on the digital tabletop, and they can run a game. So they have to have structure already set up. They have to be able to roll with it and just either reuse old VTT scenery and pogs, or they have to have a huge database. And eventually, I mean, people have said, oh, well, the pogs and the scenery doesn't really take up much space, but it's always taking up a lot of space. And the thing is that with those VTTs, you have to have the ability to kind of run things within the scenery off the cuff, or you have to just run it by the module and not let the players deviate off the course of the module, like it's a Dragonlance adventure from 2nd edition, Dragons of Autumn Twilight, where you recreate the adventures of the best-selling novel series, Dragonlance Chronicles of Legend, blah, blah, blah. And you have that. And then you have guys like Kai that say, fuck that, and they craft their own shit. They do their own VTT. They do their own miniatures. They do their own design, and they have the ability to roll with whatever impromptu stuff the player says. They can bite back and get the character either on track of where the adventure lays, or they are happy to go off the bunny trail and go down this dark road that the adventure writer did not go down, and he's able to just ad lib and have a game kind of set up with a sandbox, and he has an idea of where the players are and what the timeline is, and good luck in keeping your world intact. So you have that. And that's the good thing about longer in the teeth DMs. They have more options to throw at players. They have more tools in their toolbox. And the guys that they know they just bought the player's handbook in DMG, they got this thing called Roll20. They saw an interview on YouTube once, and they saw a video showing you how you can drag your own maps around. Okay, cool. Let's do it. And then they get kind of befuddled and they get kind of nervous. They don't realize that, hey, kid, when you're brand new at this shit, you stumble and fall a lot, and it's okay to fail, to not run a 10 out of 10 game. You ain't Matt Mercer. You're not mid-40s. You're not well-versed, and you can't do 33 voices at the drop of a hat and with a little swig of butter and honey change your entire vocal inflection. Guess what? It's okay to not be fucking Hollywood ready, man. That's what this entire hobby was built on. But I'm getting off topic. The thing is that You have guys that are stuck with module play because the VTTs are already set up for it. And then you have guys kind of like myself or other GMs that they use things that allow you to be more modular in your play style. And so you can use part of a module. You can use this map here, or you can use this NPC here, but you're scratching things out on a battle map. And for all you care, the players can go off the grid of the matrix. They can go adventure way off the map. I've got stuff for years for that. It's not a choice of how you want to play. Do you want to play your own game, or do you want to play this shiny brand new module, young Billy? No, the entire RPG the industry is built on your imagination. It's meant for you to go off the map. As much as people are very scared to go off the map, it's imperative that from time to time as a DM, you let the players exercise a little free will and do things that maybe you or the writer of an adventure you're using didn't quite think of. And it's okay. Because if it's really important, you'll figure out a way to get them to double back. Or maybe if you really like where it's going, you're going to sit down for 5 or 10 minutes or an hour and script out some ideas of where they could go next. Make some bullet points and just be quick about it, because the players are staring at you. Dungeon Master, what are you going to do?
Flub it.
Hello, DM James. We are playing. We're catching up. We're catching up right now. That's what we're playing.
Catch up. Not just a Haynes 51 product. Yeah, that's bad. Heinz. Yeah, you know, I like homebrew. I love sitting down at a table where the DM is running a homebrew campaign. It lets me flex their patience to see what I can get away with. I mean, flex my creative being on what kind of character I want to build. But at the same time, as a DM, I don't mind running modules, but at the same time, they will go slightly homebrewish, where I will add little things to my campaign, because not every party is the same. Not every group of people you sit down are going to be Tom, Dick, and Harry. You might get a Sally in there too. So I will tweak with the module a little bit to make it more suitable for the group I'm playing with. I said this last night about the gray render.
Render, yes.
Render, where it has no place in the module whatsoever. But I always do that as a test to see what kind of party I have. What does the party do? Do they go outrightly attack the render just because it's there? Or do they leave it alone? Or does the druid or rogue go and try to see what the deal is?
You know, you just blew it for yourself, right? Now all your players know your initial shit test, and you're gonna have to come up with another one.
Don't worry, I drink a lot. I'll figure something out. Wait, that didn't come up right. I drink and I know things. No, that's not right either. It all works out.
No, you're too tall for that saying.
You heightus.
No.
Now,
I
will admit that I do love my homebrew things, but as I was filling all these books on screen for a moment there, I do like the idea of the setting books, the ones that tell you not the adventure, but here's a glorious place you could have endless adventures in. Be it Legend of the Five Rings, which I was playing with, which gave us the Imperial City or the City of Lies, or perhaps when you're playing Shadowrun and you're enjoying, say, Seattle, the grand and glorious hellhole that is, or say I don't want to go anywhere near Waterdeep, but I like my Menzo Berenzans out there. I like my places that are, just give me the Starport guide. Give me a place where you give me what I need and the parts that I can play with, and I can use it however I want. I can throw out the details I don't need, keep what I want to have. If I want to run the Liberation of Terra in BattleTech, I can run that. Why? Because I know what Earth looks like. I can open up a map and go, what do I think Earth looks like in 1,000 years? Done. Just gotta remember, Hilton Head is a horrible hyperspace multidimensional cannon that fires in news broadcasts into space. Cool. Beyond that, you're gonna have a lot of fun. So I guess I don't want somebody to go, welcome to our theme park ride. Keep your hands inside the cart for the entire adventure because we don't have anything beyond this. And it's not a roller coaster. It's one of those really slow boats where you go through a dark ride. You're like, wow, this is fun. And I'm not with a girlfriend to make out with in the dark. As you ride your mediocre ride cart through the dark, and you end up at the end of the adventure. And congratulations, did you beat your prescribed four encounters? Here's your prescribed. Here's your reward. It's cookie cutter like everybody else who runs this adventure pack. So now you go to the gift shop at the end of the dungeon and go buy your collectible little stamp that says you've beat the adventure. Do you feel special? Yay! Can I do it again? Sure you can. I think you can. But what are you going to play as it this time? I want to be a barbarian this time. Good for you. Okay, everybody, back to the top. Let's go through it one more time. No, thank you.
Yeah, I just reviewed the Arduin. I just reviewed the Arduin massive phone book of system agnostic descriptions of an entire world with absolutely no preconceived dungeons or stats or any of that crap. And I would love to see more of those, even if I don't run them, just to get ideas of. I usually say ideas of what not to do. That way, I'm not, I don't feel like I'm copying some world. But at the same time, you're gonna be influenced, whether it be by history or your favorite story, movie, comic book, TV show, whatever. You're still going to be influenced. The trick is making it difficult for your players to realize where you got that inspiration. I realize it's a little harder maybe with science fiction to do that, but for me, not so much. Other people, science fiction lately seems to be kind of the least popular genre I've noticed. Which
sci-fi tends to be a bit on the least popular, but it's not really. But the thing is that most people, they don't. If you can get people to play with sci-fi, because there's so many different directions you can take science fiction off into, there isn't this. Hey, look, we're going to Gondor, everybody.
Right.
Hey, look at this. It's Lothlorien, but slightly different. We changed the tint a little bit. Welcome to the mines of Walmart brand Moria. Yeah, where you're going to fight some Gorks. Yes, the magic evil Gorks who are down there, and they're Woblins. So
And they're
special,
purple.
so different, and everyone's magic is actually based off of their ability to be friendly. Yes, the more friendly you are, the more magic. Look, magic's so freaking bullshit, and fantasy is so cookie cutter dry at this point, and it's been done in so many varieties that, let's be honest, sword and sorcery is just literally guy with sword. He is grand. He goes into battle. He fights some dudes, and there's some guy in the background who goes, "I say holy words of goodness," and he no longer hurts so badly. And he might have a problem where if he doesn't do enough magic, if he's not good enough, he might give in to the evils, and then suddenly he's now casting dark evil, and we can't have that happen. Okay, cool. I'm ready for more of this shit. Meanwhile, sci-fi is okay. Look, the hyperdrive punches the whole. It folds reality, and now we're on a world where the sky is pink and gravity is weird. Okay, cool. Now let's have an adventure of cool shit. Okay. All right. Let's do this.
Sign me up.
And space is full. Space isn't a void. It's full of pseudo ether, so that way we can have World War II dogfights in space. Okay, cool. And where's it powered by? Don't ask that question. Just it's powered by this glowy thing, and this glowy thing's important. So we need lots of the glowy thing. Is it cheap? No. So if we want to go continue to adventure, we need more glowy things. That costs money. Let's go adventure so we can get more glowy shit. Let's go do this. And what's out there? Bad guys. What kind of? Just bad guys. Let's go shoot some bad guys. And
Let's shoot in that direction.
right, those guys. That's who we're going to fight. And at that point, you can go, what history do I want to rip off today? What science fiction franchise do I want to loot? Because I can almost guarantee that half the party people at your table probably haven't even read that book or even heard of it. So you can be like, so-and-so, an important character that you know really well, doesn't matter. Everybody else goes, oh, okay. And they can have fun. Like I said, it's but then again, you can do this with almost every genre in the book. Superheroes, science fiction, spy thrillers, anything.
You can leave it open.
Yeah.
The door.
Yeah. I like to get my ideas for campaign from the sentence that starts with "Dear Pinhouse."
I'm especially not a small Midwest. Shut up.
So I'm going to swing back to something that Bruce said, that, a lot of DMs, early on do have a lot of pitfalls. I'm going to say it's not only the early DMs, even a seasoned DM can have those pitfalls where he just falls. And so it's also making sure that you're kind of keeping in touch with your players at the table to make sure that they are understanding everything and also having fun. So, definitely making sure that, it doesn't become a DM versus the players type thing, because overall you're telling the story and everything. So yeah, drink. But yeah,
Garrett trying to get somebody to fucking read.
Yep. It's too late. Already's happening. I can feel it. I feel the disturbance in the force.
It's kind of funny when it's going with what Kai says, getting your idea from literature. I mean, I have a chat this coming Sunday with Shadow about the first Dresden book, Stormfront, and Jack, his son, is going to read the book. Is going to be reading the book this week, and the fact that I can get a 15-year-old, 14-year-old kid to read a book is amazing these days. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah, it's getting harder and harder.
You just gotta encourage them, right? They can do it. They'll do it.
Readings will continue.
Okay, Kai. Well, he wants to meet you, Kai. So be ready.
Okay.
I think you guys have a lot in common, believe it or not.
Look, if I convince a 12-year-old to read Honor Harrington, I think anybody can read a book at this point. So
I think that's more or less what we covered last night. I mean, there's more to it, but that's more or less what we covered last night. Gatekeepers. If you guys want to get into tonight's meat and potatoes,
Water taters, precious.
So this is a topic that I had suggested a little while back, and I think Kai keyed into it as well. It's the 7 basic plots and how we can use them to build games or specific adventures. And what I mean by the 7 basic plots, and some people are probably going to push back on me on this one, but the 7 basic plots are overcome a monster, go on a quest, a rags to riches story, voyage and return, a comedy, which isn't necessarily a comedic experience. Sometimes it's just a lot of confusion until everything makes sense at the very end. Tragedy and rebirth. Now, what each one of these are the 7 basic plots to almost every story throughout human history. They can all be broken down to these 7 plot types. And we can take inspiration from that and use those to develop, well, adventures for our players. The 2 that we're going to be focusing in on tonight is the overcoming the monster and the quest plot type. Mostly because this is where a lot of games will start. Is either you heard rumors of a monster, in the area, and you go seek it out, hunt it, and and deal with it, or you're at a quest board. Well, someone is wanting something, and you have to go find it. So
It reminds me of the old. You see the occasional, like westerns or such, where somebody is kind of gravely ill, and they've got to send a rough rider over the hills and through the pass to go find some medicine or a remedy or a medicine man, and he'll hopefully come back in time enough to save the individual that's dying. I don't know if you remember those or not. I think Shadow and Son probably does.
Yep.
I've seen my share of them.
Hell, they did it in Firefly.
Yeah.
Kind of.
They did it in season 2 of
No,
Deadwood.
that wasn't really well. But what I was actually thinking of was Babylon 5 Crusade, or
That's the entire plot line.
Right, or what was it? Star Blazers, wasn't that kind of along the same lines?
Oh, yeah. The when they're looking for the I was getting
Gengar?
yes, the Genesis device. The can't remember what the actual name of the device it was they're looking for. Let's see here. Star Blazers manual.
Oh damn! I had that book. I every month I regret getting rid of that book.
I know.
What book is it?
It is the Star Blazers technical manual.
Oh,
The entire first 2 seasons, White Comet Empire and Gamelon Fleets from the original series.
you have my attention. I just watched Star Blazers Legend of Orin a few nights back. I don't know if you've ever seen it or not. You should.
But I'm familiar with it. Yeah,
It's good.
I used to run home from school to be able to catch that show on UHF. If you guys don't know what that is, that just shows just how old I am.
Oh.
And
Hey, that's a Weird Al thing, right?
no, it was a different kind of channel. You smart ass.
I
But the
know
cool
what-
thing,
Weird would be a different type of channel.
but the cool thing is I was 2 blocks away from where they broadcasted over at Golden West College back in the day.
Nice. But no, it was the Cosmo DNA device. They had to like go to they only had 1 year to save the planet, and that was it. And yes, because there's an entire timeline of day by day what's going on.
And if you can get past the theme song, you are in for a treat.
Oh, you'll be humming the theme song for decades.
Yes.
Decades.
It's like Firefly.
No.
No. Do not lump it in.
I
Do
still
not.
match every once in a while. That theme song runs through my head.
Firefly is 10 times better. Theme
Well,
song.
yeah.
The theme song I keep going back to is from the 1986 episodes of Jason and Wheeled Warriors. Yeah, nobody remembers.
Wow.
I remember that.
Now, here's the important thing, though. As good as Firefly is, are you going to hear the Japanese Navy playing that for in a massive like orchestrated court and all the instruments out from a warship? No, you're not going to hear that. But there's a certain part where if you get to start hearing those trumpets start kicking in, you're like, okay, I know what I'm in for, and I'm like, this is gonna be a good day. And then you get, oh God, yes.
Actually, when it comes to soundtracks, if I'm really being honest, DM Jaide years ago introduced me to the show with Hercules in Space. When I say Hercules in Space, is because it was Kevin Sobo, and I can't pronounce the name of the show for the life of me.
Andromeda?
Yeah, and it had that. I hate techno. Oh my God, I hate techno, and I hate disco, and I hate house music. But the theme music is very much house music. Has a 3-way with techno and disco. It just makes my brain hurt.
That's hot.
I mean, it was enough that him and another person would start humming something, and I'd whip a racer, one of those wet, dry racers across the room and smacking one of them in the head.
I'm
Mainly-
him so hard with the music.
Oh. See, that's how you get people killed.
It is. Out there with your glow sticks and your tribal drum beats.
Going
Jade is trying
I
so
can't
hard
even-
not to do the line so hard.
If I can't see
I don't wanna
them,
get
they can't
demonetized.
see me.
DJ Raphael. Wicked. So I just watched the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie from 2014.
I'm
I don't
sorry.
know what everybody was complaining about. That was actually not a bad version of that media. The
Wait.
worst part about it was Megan Fox, and
Okay, yeah, I'm still sorry.
that was the worst part of it. I mean, she was pretty okay. The cartoon, it was not Shakespeare. I didn't watch Macbeth every day after 4:30. It was fucking Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I know what I'm getting into. I'm putting on the hip waders going in. It's going to be a fun sewer crawl.
Did anybody actually read the original comics here?
From East Lake? Yeah.
Eastman and Laird?
Yes.
Yeah.
A long time ago.
Funny. Completely different than the cartoon, which was completely different from the movie. Yeah, but they were amazing comics. It's just that you couldn't really sell them to 13-year-olds. The parents ever read them, that the fucking comic books would stop.
Yep.
Yeah, and the store would be shut down.
It's like introducing your mom from the 60s to Kiss.
It might have
My
started
mom
to-
liked Kiss. My mom liked Kiss.
I know
At least-
ladies that made some good-looking stepbrothers and sisters because they heard a good rock band. Oops, did I say that?
Yes. out
Howard
loud.
the Duck. God, that's a movie that I can. Jesus.
Hey, the
I
MC
actually
That
like-
movie
actually
was
like that
amazing.
I actually like
You shut your whore mouth. That movie had issues.
but
Yeah.
the two adventure plot lines that Jade is wanting to talk about, the Slay the Monster or Monster of the Week and or the Quest, those should be staples in your tabletop diet.
Oh yeah. Slay the Monster, jeez. Any Dragon Slayer from the 80s. The 80s are really,
every dragon encounter or
right.
adventure, every
Yeah,
The-
you
Dungeons and Dragons. I think that pretty much sums it up.
Parrothead
Me
threw
and-
something in there for you there,
I'm trying to
Connell.
remember somebody else. Garrett, do you remember Mahalik's World? Mahalik's D&D World. Do you remember that?
Kind of. I never was around when he was running that. It was more the stuff I remember is more from Spring Offensive, but that was just me.
He ran a D&D world where it was kind of low to mid-tier fantasy, but the dragon kind of ran it. So you didn't want to go and attack the dragon because, one, he was like much more powerful than you, and two, the dragon had a map of your country in his lair. He's like, "Hi, what are you doing here?" No, you don't belong here. This is not what you seek. Everywhere within the borders of the country is mine. This is all mine. Get out and go adventure in the world. I don't need you here. You don't need to try to mess with me. I'm trying to be very polite, but I need you to go and just go make money because eventually the gold you make will appear in my lair. And he was such a benevolent individual. Like, no. Really, you need to go kill some goblins or something. There's much more important things for you to do. I'm just going to go to sleep for the next 100 years. And when I wake up, I'll go collect from the treasury what's mine. And he would do that.
I was just going to say not the 90s. The 80s was really good about the whole monsters of the week in his TV shows up until the 90s, and for the movies, I mean, every other movie out there was was Krull, Krull. No, yeah, that
Yeah,
movie.
Troll.
And monsters don't
Beastmaster.
Beastmasters, and monsters don't necessarily have to be monsters. Sometimes they can be people, like the Star Wars series, the original Star Wars, where Vader was made out to be the monster. But no, wait, it's really the high guy, the old guy in the chair that's the real monster. So I have to say, when it comes to monsters, defending and fighting off the monsters, the 80s had really good TV shows and movies that definitely go with that. I mean, that's where the Monster of the Week kind of came out of. Then when you got into the late 90s into early 2000s, you had, was that Buffy the Vampire Slayer?
Yeah. Then you also had things like Amazing Stories, where it wasn't really a horror, but it was still like, you still had, sometimes those monsters that were in there, like the Mummy, or other different
Tales from the
stuff.
Dark Side as well.
Yeah, Tales from the Dark Side. And even for the younger ones, Goosebumps.
Power Rangers.
That was more into the 90s, but I mean that was on that 80s into the 90s type of cusp. And and like you said, Power Rangers. You look at Voltron. New cartoons. Voltron was like that. He-Man, She-Ra, all of them were like that. They had monsters of the week, or guys they were fighting, of the week, and it was, it's what kept everyone coming back for more. Was who are they going to fight next?
That and merchandise.
G.I. Joe, my favorite.
Yeah, G.I. Joe's the same way.
G.I. Joe and Transformers. I want to see what new horrible stupid scheme that's going to get beaten by something stupid today. I want this.
Yes.
I kind of want to joke.
Even GoBots.
Yeah. I kind of want to. Thundercats. I kind of want to joke and say A-Team. Granted, there was no monsters, but those poor bullets did not deserve to be shot and discarded as much as they did in that TV show.
Look, A-Team and MacGyver are the two things that should have programmed our generation on how to problem solve. It's like here's the adventure, and I'm like, do we have a 2x4, 2 sticks, and a hammer? Yes, we have a main battle tank, guys. What? How? A-Team.
Yeah.
Why? We all got locked in a shed that just happened to have power tools and everything we need in it. And
MacGyver.
And MacGyver is, I got a paper clip and some rubber bands, and I'm going to hang glide out off this mountain. What? Yes. And how do you not expect players to not be able to go, okay, here's the encounter, and then the party goes, what's around us in this area that we're in? This, and have one player going, all right, start the music. Which one? Whichever one. If you play one, we get guns. If the other one, we escape the East Germans. Got it. Play it. And then there you go. And there's all your fun. And so when all these GMs are like, oh, players can't stop. Why are players so smart? Why do players derail my games? We grew up with MacGyver, motherfuckers. We grew up with a guy who could figure out anything with a stick, a stick, a flashlight, and has a laser cannon somehow,
and a Snickers bar and a paperclip.
It's like, okay.
You can't forget the paperclip. That's crucial.
Yeah, especially if you're fishing.
Okay, so I found a crown and 3 scepters. How do we solve this? Well, the ancients had built this giant cave with gunpowder, and on the light of the certain day, we line up the scepters with a crown, and it shoots a laser beam at the wall and blows up the wall. And now we get to the treasure. How did you think of that? I'm MacGyver.
Mythbusters.
That's more Indiana Jones.
But that was a MacGyver episode.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
That was a MacGyver episode. It's one of my favorite ones.
What's the other?
My favorite one was where he got poisoned and he helped some young teenagers catch a fish with a Wrigley's bubblegum wrapper because it had that reflective cellophane on one side, if you remember that.
Yeah, I remember that one too.
Yeah, that was a good episode.
I escaped down a sand dune in Germany on a map. Why? I pour eggs in a bullet-ridden radiator. Done. Cool. shoot, I'm locked with a bomb. Quick, figuring out how to like boil water in this thing and open the crack. And what the heck is going on here? I'm learning how not to and physics at the same time. Okay, cool. This is how problem. And meanwhile, it's like, D&D is like, here's my baby riddle, and here's me going, oh god damn it! Can you just give me give me a screwdriver? I'll figure this out. Ugh. But my riddle, your riddle's retarded and written poorly. But you got a C in English Lit. You don't know how to write I write a riddle. Well, this was written by somebody else who failed. I failed English Lit too. We have battle axe, crowbar, but puzzles and don't care. Crowbar, chainsaw time.
Well, this definitely makes up for last week for him not being here with us.
Oh yes.
We're due one more rant at the 9 o'clock hour. His punch card will be good for free beer.
Okay, free beer.
We'll get him a Gus Weiser beer.
Oh no. Okay.
Going back to the monsters, I want to remind us all of the most classic, at least for us Americans. That would be the Universal monsters: Frankenstein, Dracula, Werewolf, Creature from the Black Lagoon, Phantom of the Opera, Invisible Man. Every one of those stories has got at least 5 elements we can swipe from, and nobody who's playing the more current games are going to have a clue if they're under a certain age, and we can just pick and choose, and they're going to think we're literary geniuses, and we can just pick your favorite monster movie. There's so many elements in there, so many.
Or one of my favorites.
Even if you just
one of my
your favorite?
favorites. Yeah, Planet of the Apes.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I've seen those movies so many times. I loved every one of them, and I loved the way it was a perfect circle. When you're done with the last one, you're actually at the beginning of the first one.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hey,
And you can just watch them forever.
I read a one shot. I read a one shot last weekend that was legitimately Frankenstein and Swamp Thing squished together, and that's the adventure. And they didn't realize. Wait, was that? Yeah, it's Frankenstein plus Swamp Thing. Go, have fun. And they didn't realize it until it was over. And I'm like, thank you for enjoying the fact that I stole from better people than me. So,
and for those of you who are comic book fans, back in I think it was between the 50s and the 70s, there were regular monster comics where monsters dwell, and all those other classic one-shot monsters, as well as Creepy Magazine, Eerie Magazine, so much stuff that's just been completely forgotten by 90% of the world's population. You could easily, another great one. You could easily pull one random story out of there, run your players through it, and they would have absolutely no clue where you got it from, and they would never be able to track it down.
I don't know if any of you guys remember, but in the early 90s, when it comes to monsters, this is going to be a really weird one for you. But there was this after-school special that had all the cartoon characters from everyone from the 90s, more or less, early 90s. And it was a cartoon where they're making smoking tobacco the monster.
Yeah.
Anybody remember that one?
Yeah, it was. I think it was G.I. Joe. About it was kids in the bathroom or something like that.
It was the Care Bears. It was Garfield. It was Ninja Turtles. I mean, everybody who was on Saturday morning cartoon made it when they made tobacco the monster of the week. I thought that was a very interesting way to do it as an adult with my kids. And now I found the video and I showed my daughter, and my daughter was like, "Dad, that is so cheesy." I'm like, it was the 90s. I got nothing.
Actually, what you're looking for here is that got to research. You can look up at Cartoon All Stars to the Rescue, 1990.
Yeah.
It was a special that I don't think anyone really watched.
Oh,
It
I had to
certainly
watch.
had almost no effect.
None.
This is
Oh,
episode today.
What was the other one? What was it? Was actually Robin Williams. Fern
Gully?
Gully? Yeah, Fern Gully. But that
I mean,
was an
actually-
actual movie.
Right. I can see turning Fern Gully into a maybe one shot, maybe two shot campaign.
Oh, Cal's starting to fire shots now.
The Secret of Nim?
Yeah.
Ooh, that
yeah.
one would be a good one. But that one like almost screams like you're playing a Redwall campaign at that point, which is okay.
Well, if you've got a certain kind of player, or players, I should say, I could see being able to pull that off and getting a satisfied reaction from the audience.
Yeah, I can easily see that. With
Teeth
certain
rings and characters like that, I could see them, not getting their panties in a bunch while playing in a game like that.
No, the thing is that the storyline is so good that if you just literally go, they're not all bunny rats and other animals, and go, hey, look, they're actual people, and people will go, this is actually an interesting story. It is. You probably already watched it. I did? No, don't think about it. The next 6 hours, don't think about it. Enjoy this amazing work of genius I come up with, and oh, wow, this was a fun game. It was. Do you know where it came from? Obscure Disney movie. Oh
God, I forgot about Captain Planet. Oh no! Now that theme song is running through my head. Son of a bitch!
My
Captain
wife's
Planet. For
my
as
wife's
dumb. Oh yeah.
my wife's in mine saying she wants to run a Real Monsters campaign using WAD.
That'd be cool. That would be fun. What night? And can I show up for it?
I don't know. What night can you show for a campaign with your schedule there, Hoss?
I will find a look. If I heard World of Darkness plus Ariel Monsters, I will find time.
There you go. You got one, dude.
Or if you go back to the 60s, not sexies, the 60s. Jesus.
60s were sexy.
Yeah, Johnny Quest.
Oh,
But
don't even get me started with the
Oh,
Venture Brothers.
well, no, actual
Venture
Johnny.
Brothers kick for 2 weeks.
Actually, no, he's talking about the actual Johnny Quest, not the Venture Brothers. So
Yeah, no,
you've got
That's
the
all I can
60s.
think of when I think of that, though.
I know, but you got 60s, and then they rolled it into the 90s and late 90s, and then
that wasn't
The Herculoids, and what was the other
yes.
one? Herculoid.
Teen Force, Space Ghost.
Yeah, Space Ghost. That's what I was thinking.
Oh yeah. There's a lot of stuff out there that is going, leaving home to go deal with the monster. Out there, there's that people can get inspiration from. I mean, just by everything that we said, most of it's being cartoons or movies. But there's 800-pound gorilla in the corner of the room that D&D is slightly based off. Name is Token, ends with Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit or whatever the other book he wrote. Books.
The
Farmer Giles of Ham. He had a lot of other books that you could actually draw from that most people are not really familiar with. If you actually go into other things besides the trilogy and The Hobbit, you can probably find some decent stuff that, if you're in a bind and you can't come up with creative juices flowing to, fuel your next adventure, there's literally an unlimited number of sources for monsters.
The entire first and second ages. What? Yes. Hell, even the first 90% of the third age is interesting. It's free real estate. But it's already been picked over by everybody else, by every other writer ever. But yes, steal from it. Use it.
Yeah,
I mean,
Pilfer.
raise your hand if you were basically your babysitter on Saturday morning was the TV for cartoons. I mean, that was my Saturday mornings as a kid.
Saturday and Sunday. Because
Yeah, I was at
USA had
church.
All
Well, no.
Sunday had was Popeye. Who are you kidding?
when I was
Sunday.
growing up, we had USA, and it was like all the what you're talking about, the Herculoids and all that. You know,
We didn't have that. We had Popeye.
until like noon. Hong Kong
USA
Phooey, In Try Private Eye, all that.
All
I
the
was-
great
Yeah, we had seen that stuff on Saturdays.
I was joking around with one of my buddies. I'm like, I'm gonna run a not Simpsons. I'm gonna run a Smurfs episode as a one shot. Instead of Smurfs, you're all gonna be like, no.
I've seen people do that with gnomes. I've seen at least half a dozen. But oh my god,
We're gonna do what? What? What are we
Okay,
doing?
here's one for you. I bet almost no one here has ever seen this. I have been literally tracking this cartoon for the better part of 50 years. Anybody out from the internet land, hook me up with this, and I will give you my next born, which is, probably not going to happen. But The Amazing Seven. Anybody remember that?
Yeah.
No, I don't, but I'm going to look it up now so I can learn it.
Good luck. I can't find any record of it anywhere. I haven't looked in a couple of years. It's a black and white anime from the 60s, Gigantor era. The Amazing Seven. You're going to find The Amazing Race Season 7 forever.
Yeah, Magnificent Seven.
Are you talking about like the Super 7?
It was called The Amazing Seven when I was a kid. It was a bunch of anthropomorphic animals that got in adventures, and their vehicle, catch this, was a gigantic ball. It was a giant mechanical, awesome-looking vehicle with I don't remember how it did it, but it was just a giant orb that would roll over and crush things, and I have not been able to find even an image of it. I almost think I hallucinated it, except one time I was in a store, forgot my wallet. There was a VH cassette of it. I wanted to grab it, had no money, went back, gone.
Is this it?
Nope, black and white.
Although that
One
looks like
thing-
something I watched as a kid.
That's early 80s right there.
Yeah, no, this is
That's late 70s.
Yeah, late 70s.
yeah, this was from the 60s. It was black and white. I'm not, going to say it was great art or anything like that, but just to prove that I wasn't hallucinating, my kindergarten years, I have been searching for this.
Oh, I completely understand. I mean, there's cartoons I remember seeing as a kid, and I go to explain them to my daughter. My daughter's like, "Are those real cartoons?" I'm like, I'm pretty sure they were. Like Pirates of the Dark Sea or Dark Water.
Dark Water.
Yeah.
That was a great show. That was a great show. A friend of mine actually did the voice work for the kid, the main hero. This is eons ago. I haven't talked to the guy in 20 plus years, but yeah.
So no,
The thing is,
I'll do some digging because I have some things I can look into.
But even
And
like,
that's
I mean, I can kind of say the Dresden Files, because he does go out sometimes towards the end of the book, smacks the big bad, which sometimes is a monster or can be qualified as a monster, and comes back. Not exactly okay, but he does make it out at the end.
I tend to actually prefer the monsters that are not humanoid.
Oh, some of them are not human at all.
No, with humanoid, they don't have 2 arms and 2 legs and a head like we do. But like beholders, or obviously dragons, But the really weirder, the Hydra, I really like those better because it seems like, having grown up watching Star Trek and so many other shows where they just put a rubber appliance on somebody's face and that's suddenly a monster. Even the black and white movies, the man with X-ray eyes, things like that. It was always just some guy. You give me something, a Remoraz, what's another good one? The
Fly.
things like
That's more of a horror.
the things like that were not just big brawny monsters, but if they had some brains behind them, that was cool too. But I'm okay with just a big brutish four-legged monster with like the Tablebreakers or whatever the hell that was. How many people ever ran one of those things? That swamp water buffalo with the gigantic neck. Look
Yeah,
at
but-
it and you're dead.
Had a breath weapon, it would turn things like to stone.
In the old books, it was save or die. You're just dead.
Don't give our tomorrow DM any ideas. Not tomorrow, but the next day.
Yeah. Don't give the DM ideas because that could be evil.
I'm pretty sure he's already got Saturday planned, but maybe next month we're in for shit.
Hey, Darren P.
Hey, what's up, Darren? That's a good one. That's why I like Cthulhu, because nothing is got two legs and two arms and a head.
What was that episode of Rick and Morty? God, I love
Gorgon's
it.
a good one.
I just watched both the Clash of the Titans movies.
Yeah, we
so
just did
great.
a bunch of reviews. Yeah.
You guys got me diving into it, so I just watched them, and I like the Harryhausen one better.
I think I get that. I like both of them for different reasons.
Well, I love the special effects for some of the things in the new one, but
Those
there's other
four
parts where they didn't put enough money into it, and it looked cheap on my television. And my television is like one of those 2015 Walmart $200 720 or 1080p TVs that you
We got one like that. I think with the Clash of the Titans, the original, my son and I have gone over it. I think with the 1981 version, you either grew up watching that first, and so it's got a special place in your heart, or you understand that it's more true to the original, not necessarily word for word source, but the spirit of the story, what the story was trying to say, at an emotional level as opposed to a visual, logical level.
Yeah, I mean, going back to the monsters. I hate to say this, but the new version of Clash of the Titans Scorpions were a whole lot better than the original ones.
Oh, that part of the movie had us on our edge of our seats. That was one of the most intense, action-packed sequences we'd seen in a long time.
Yeah.
But
agree with
everything,
you.
so many other aspects of the movie were, I don't want to say woke, but trying so hard to go against the actual story. Like when the Bram Stoker's Dracula came out and said it was Bram Stoker's Dracula, and Dracula's walking around in, shiny red plate mail that never happened in the book. It was like that. It was like they were trying to, take credit for, great movie, take credit for someone else's work, but then completely change it, get you in because you're thinking you're watching Bram Stoker's, but you're watching some other guy's movie. It's just loosely based on Bram Stoker's. That kind of, bait and switch just irritates the hell out of me. If you're going to call something by someone else's name and give them the credit for it, but then butcher it, you'd be better off just saying it's my movie. If you're going to take a steaming pile of shit, at least stand by it and claim it as your own. Don't, try to, say, oh, well, that's what Bram Stoker wrote. No, he didn't.
It's kind of
stand by your own work and be proud of it. Because if they put his name on that Dracula movie, I would have a completely different opinion of it.
It is
I
kind
would
of
like
funny
it better
with
than
that. It's funny with that movie, the Bram Stoker's Dracula. See, with my grandma being Romanian, the book was never allowed in the house, and I was never allowed to watch the movies because Vlad the Impaler, to my grandma, he was a hero of her people, and some drunk Irish bastard, which could be me or the guy way over there. No, there.
This
There?
guy? This guy?
No, the one over,
That
one
guy.
over. No,
That guy.
that guy.
I think we got at least 3 Irish guys in the building.
I'm part Irish. Mom's side is like 20. No, she's like 42% Irish. And the blood type or saliva test I've got came out where, like, aside from Northern Italian, which is like 61%, I have like a 26% of Irish in me, which I don't understand because I'm sunburning a little bit, but I turn back to this darker color.
Bronze.
Yeah.
So wait,
And
half Italian, half Irish. That's a fist fight.
I'm so conflicted with myself, dude. I don't even know.
Irish Russian.
He's
Irish Russian. I
mad.
should be I should be the biggest drunk amongst you.
Now, see, the issue is that half of him is mad when he drinks beer. The other half of him is mad if he drinks wine.
Well, that's why you have both. That way you're at peace with yourself and your equilibrium.
But what I was going to say is Bram Stoker. Yeah, my grandma would not let me anywhere near that book as a kid. She thought it was the worst, worst thing that ever happened to Vlad the Impaler. And it might not have been the worst thing, but it sure as hell didn't help. You know what my favorite monster movie was for a group of kids? A group of kids, not adults, not seasoned heroes. What?
Goonies?
No, not Goonies. We're talking about monsters. We're talking about
Monster
monsters right
Squad.
now.
Are you
The
talking about
Monster Squad. For
Yep,
one
Monster
line.
Squad.
One line in that movie made it for me as a kid. The Wolfman's got nards.
Yep.
God, I haven't seen that movie in a long time.
I'm very happy I haven't seen it in a long time. It wasn't a bad movie back then, but I think if I watch it now, like I'd have to do it with Janet or something because like that invites discussion.
What do you mean you're not a virgin? Anyways,
It's a good movie.
it doesn't count, right? Yeah. No, I actually saw that movie here recently with my with my daughter. I was torturing my daughter. We had to watch that in Labyrinth. Labyrinth's a good movie.
What you need to do, Connell, Hasbro, and somebody's going to get upset here when I say this. Hasbro has a YouTube channel. Has a lot of YouTube channels. What you need to do is find the late 80s hits that are on these channels and watch the old Dungeons and Dragons cartoon. Watch the old G.I. Joes. They've got Transformers for free out there. You can watch all of the old Sunbow, Marvel, Hasbro stuff at no cost. And your daughter can be just put totally into PTSD mode at the very end of the episode when Gung Ho tells her that she needs to be safe. And G.I. Joe is another good source of Monster of the Week stuff because if you go, especially with the movies that G.I. Joe did, the last one that I remember being really kind of hokey was the one where they fought Globulus, the leader of the snake people, which I think that's where David Icke got his idea. I'm tired of this soccer thing. It's hurting my legs. Instead, I'm going to become a conspiracy theorist and write crappy books. But let me borrow this plot line off of G.I. Joe's latest cartoon movie.
Not a fan of David Icke.
I like David Icke. He did the greatest book in the world called The World's Biggest Secret or The Biggest Secret. That's a great book. Not a real fan of Children of the Matrix because it made people go searching for monsters where, listen, we got enough humanoid monsters here as is. Let's not get hokey on this shit.
That's fair. So,
I haven't read any of the books. Just curious.
I'm just saying, like, I like Joe Rogan quite a bit, but I don't want to hear him talking about machine elves on his DMT dives, okay?
Yeah.
Apparently, I missed that one.
I for some odd reason, I've been watching a bunch of D&D monster videos lately. I don't know why. It's in the algorithm, so fine, I'll watch them. And some of it's pretty good. Some of them takes from the ecologies from the second ed. But somehow I found the top 7 monsters you find when you go on a DMT dive.
Oh,
Yeah. And I'm like, I don't take DMT. But the next video after that was Joe Rogan talking about machine elves. Interesting.
The algorithm loved you.
Yeah, I know, right?
Gremlins.
I have such a love-hate relationship with that.
Thanks, James.
James is great.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of remakes. Just by principle.
I mean, part of me wants to say they should never have made the sequel. They should have just done the first one and be done with it.
Hold on, I can actually answer that question, Green Apple.
But there's
Give me-
another
I
part
got
of me
my
that
notes here.
there's another part of me that really, really enjoyed the second one, and I don't know how I feel about that.
The second what?
Gremlins.
I love the second Gremlins. It's a movie that was really ahead of its time.
Yeah, I'll agree with that, DM James.
Green Apple. Her name was Gemma Arterton.
Emma
A-R.
Arterton.
Yeah, what a weird name.
She was in the Hansel and Gretel bomb of 2013.
She's cute as hell, but
That was a fun movie.
Willow is another.
It was fun.
Willow is another movie that should just be left alone.
Oh, come on! Don't you want Disney to ruin that part of your childhood too?
Oh yeah, they'll ruin it.
don't give
because
many
they-
ideas, Bruce.
Because
Bruce-
for the simple fact they'll ruin it because they won't actually do the quote unquote slur that they did, even though it doesn't mean anything.
What comes to my
that
Peck.
yeah,
Peck.
the peck or whatever. You know, I guarantee you will not hear that word.
Oh, I mean, I don't know. See, I have Disney Plus, and I was really enjoying Moon Knight, and they went in a couple of directions I thought they wouldn't have gone, but they went there anyways, and it still worked. I mean, it kind of was against the Disney protocol, and they still did it anyways. So I don't know. I'm just saying, as a whole, I really wish they'd leave Willow alone because Val Kilmer is a big part of what made that movie, and all he's doing is dying slowly in a wheelchair somewhere.
Sorry to hear that.
Sort of like, hey, I'm going to make another Legends movie with Tom Cruise and Tim Curry. Wait, no, Tim Curry had a heart attack, and he's in a wheelchair too, so he can't be Satan.
Really, he had a heart attack, huh? You sure it wasn't something else?
No, he had a stroke. That's why he's in a wheelchair.
Was it a stroke? Okay, my bad.
It was a stroke.
Yeah, I was never a big fan of it.
He did do the remake of the Rocky Horror Picture Show. He played the old guy in a wheelchair.
Yeah, that did.
Dr.
We
Scott.
don't talk about that either.
Yeah, that brings back a couple of years straight of bad memories.
There's a really good movie if you like Val Kilmer, and I recommend if you guys are into just watching good films about a father's love to his son and a son's love to his father. There's a good movie on Amazon called Val, and it's Val Kilmer's son as a narrator, reading the script that his dad wrote, and he edits through a bunch of movies that he did from his early 20s till today. And you get to see him a couple times, but he looks like hell because he's in bad shape. And in the new Top Gun movie, which it looks like he's in a
Picture.
it looks like he's dying at the end of the film. I'm just going to give that spoiler away because that was something that hit my movie blog that I read, and it looks like Val Kilmer's character in Top Gun dies, and so everybody gets to say goodbye to him in that film that really enjoyed his stuff, which is kind of sad because his health has taken a bad turn for the worse over the past year and a half.
It's like what Ray Liotta died today. Trying
That was
to
horrible.
Really?
Yeah, and then the Alan White also passed away too, and he was a drummer for Yes and John Lennon. Andy Fletcher from Depeche Mode. So it's like,
wow.
Yeah, all today.
If that guy had any regrets of movies, I'm pretty sure he would have said The Farmer or The Name of the King. I think The Name of the King was the name of that movie, where he plays the evil wizard.
I don't remember that movie.
Yeah, Jason.
Doesn't see.
Yeah, it's in The Name of the King.
Oh my God. Ray Liotta does play the evil wizard in that, and I've stayed away from that movie because it's got by Yui Bowl as the director. Okay. Thank you.
Shall we hit up
Yes.
topic number 2?
Yes.
The voyage and return.
Now, anytime
Jade?
somebody says, yeah,
Jade, you out there?
I think Jade fell asleep.
Yeah, I'm here.
be quiet, huh?
Say his name.
No, I was completely content to let you guys, ramble and discuss monsters of the week and whatnot.
Really quick, since we've all talked, quick question for you, DM Jade. What is your top three monsters? We gotta go kill the monsters, books or movies that influence you in your DMing.
Yeah, I can't really answer that.
Oh, okay. Without influence your DMing.
I got nothing for you on that. I mean, my mind was not prepared for Monster of the Week discussions.
You are not prepared.
Yeah.
I'll just say this. Whenever I'm running a game where there's a monster hunt, I try to recreate the level of intensity that you have in capers like the French Connection, or the Professional, or the one we just watched, the Sorcerer, where it seems like every turn the players make, it's a worse turn than what happened previously. And Kai used to talk about this all the time when he was running the game. He would get very adamant about don't let up on the players. Keep your forearm in their cheek and force them to eat the mat. You got two high school wrestlers there wrestling on the mat, and you've got one that's got dominance on the other, and the DM is just forcing the player to eat the shit, lick the paint off the mat, and make them eat the pain that they're going through because they're making the wrong decisions or they're going in the wrong direction looking for this monster. They're not studying its habits of what type of victims it's going for. They're going for the locations instead. And they're trying to get clues the wrong way. So you just let them encounter bad random encounters and let them burn time, and all of a sudden there's another victim on the other side of the city, on the other side of the parish. And you just drill it in their head like you're doing it wrong. And you don't really have to give them clues, but with your narrative, you're gonna drop like just some discussion from people that are nearby. And that right there should be clue enough for them. But if your players aren't thinking people, if they're demanding, like, God damn it, I hate to say this because I'm outlining everything wrong with current day D&D. But if you're not there describing the location and place and what the fucking phase the moon is in, the players are just standing there with their thumbs twiddling like, but we thought you were going to run the adventure and puppet show for us. We thought that you were just going to give us experience points. No, you make them think. You get the players to where they can disengage from the rails of the adventure as it's supposed to be, quote unquote, ran, and make them critically think on their own. And you make sure that they start engaging their fucking gray matter and not relying on their sword arm to get them through. And don't be afraid to kill them, like Sean says.
Oh God, yeah.
Now, I have to say, though, it's not so much going and fighting the monster. Well, Jaide, in a couple of his campaigns, he had this thing called the Monster Hunt or whatever, where we're in a city and we got we're told it was a tournament, and those who with the many coins came back from killing these monsters would win the day.
Yeah, so that was called the Great Hunt. It was based on European tradition of the Festival of the Hunt. Now, that wasn't really it was a go defeat the monster kind of quest line or storyline, but it was a week-long festival that I always run in my own homebrewed world in one city. And the city brings in like quasi-summoned monsters, so to say, where when they die, they drop a token, and that token is worth amount of points for the kill. And then first, the team or person with the most points at the end of the festival wins the grand prize. That is, is something you can include in your games where, if they're just wanting to murder hobo around, well, that's absolutely perfect. They go around an urban setting, hunting monsters to no end, literally no end. And they're set within districts. And when they leave one district to the next most outer district, things scale up in difficulty. So like the innermost districts might be CR 1 through 3. As you progress further and further out, you might get into CR like 20 or CR 50 encounters when you're outside the city. They are still worth points, and if a team can manage to take one of them down, well, that team's probably guaranteed a big prize. But during those kind of events, I also run the Temple of Bahamut runs a kind of like a life insurance policy where you will prepay for a raised dead, a resurrection, or a true resurrection if you can afford any one of those things. And when your player character inevitably dies, because it happens. People go, yeah, that was great. We just cleared a CR10 monster. I'm ready to go fight a CR15, and it just utterly stomps the hell out of the party to paste. The players who were smart and be like, hey, I'm gonna buy a true resurrection life insurance policy for when I die. They don't get to re-enter the fight, for the hunt. They get resurrected at the temple because I had like a status effect on them. And when they get resurrected, like, well, congratulations, you used your life insurance policy, and someone's going to go collect your stuff now that you've been turned to paste. So that's the way I run the Festival of the Hunt in my homebrewed world.
Jaide, DM James has a question. What the hell are CRs?
Okay, so CR values. This pertains to I think it was in 2E, but definitely 3.5 Pathfinder.
Third.
They were in third.
They were in third.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're definitely
Okay, so starting in Dungeons & Dragons 3.0 and up, monsters had a challenge rating. That's what the C and R stands for, is challenge rating. And based on that, the number was the average party level, so to say. So if the CR of a creature was 5, the average party of 4 players, all being about 5th level, could handle that kind of monster with relative ease. It was on their challenge rating path, so to say. Now, the players could fight things up to like 3 or 4 challenge ratings higher than their average party level. And those were extreme challenges. Anything beyond 5 challenge ratings higher would be an extreme or undefeatable encounter. So that's what 3035 Pathfinder used CR ratings for, is to know what to throw at your party that would be an okay encounter, so to say.
It's also very much like in at least first edition AD&D, James, where you had the tables for the dungeon levels and what sort of monsters you would find in a first level of a dungeon or a seventh level of a dungeon. I think it evolved from that.
Yeah, probably did.
Yeah, I would agree with that. If we're done with monster of the week,
Can I answer Connell's question real quick, because it ties into the next one? He asked which movie monsters, that I, really enjoyed the most, and I think I will have to go back to the old Sinbad movies that we just did, not just because of the love of the technology that Ray Harryhausen developed to bring those to the big screen, but as most of you know, I absolutely adore Adventures on the High Seas. I know a lot of people think they're very boring, but for me, so many movies, not just the Sinbad movies, depicted something that, for me personally, even though I grew up on the beach every day as a kid, there was only so far out in the water I would go. Even when I was surfing, it still terrified the shit out of me. The thought of what's down there, what would happen if you were at sea, especially in the primitive sailing ships. But the idea of sailing to the monster was akin to the Alien movie, being in space, and then there's Alien in your ship. It's that kind of terror and bravery required to go on an even scarier version. We could all walk or ride a horse to the nearest dungeon or the nearest mountain or cave system, but hopping in a wooden leaky boat and sailing for weeks, if not months, to that mystical island where such and such lives, and that's the monster, or that's where the quest ends. To me, that takes balls that wouldn't even fit in my studio. And the journey getting there for my players is fraught with everything from mermen and Sahagin to giant sea monsters, dragon turtles, and then finally whatever the big bad is at the island that you're heading to.
Sounds pretty
Jade?
good.
Yeah, sorry.
So you're going to lead us off in the next topic?
Sure. The next item that you will typically run in your games is likely the quest type of plot. Now, the quest is typically someone has requested the party or the protagonist to go acquire a MacGuffin, whatever the MacGuffin might be. That could be a specific item, could be a goal, could be a piece of land. Go acquire it. Now, the reason they are acquiring it is oftentimes, the part that's shrouded in mystery, or it's a half truth as to whoever sends them on said quest to go get said MacGuffin. It can be some kind of like either the proprietor goes, "Hey, I want this item for this reason." You either take it at face value and go fetch, or you don't. The other, aspects of this reasoning can be an omen or some kind of prophecy that says if the MacGuffin falls into the wrong hands, XYZ happens. Along the way during the quest, you will find opposition of some kind, be it monsters, as we've already discussed, or it might be another group that wants to acquire the MacGuffin for other reasons or parallel reasons, or maybe even opposed reasons. Finally, you have the destination, the reason the heroes were sent to get the MacGuffin, because the destination takes place along the journey. or rather, the adventure takes place during the journey to said destination where the MacGuffin is. So that is another prime thing that you would typically use in a game scenario or a plot scenario is you set up a quest, you put the hooks out there, and you let your players discover the hooks and where to go, or you give them, hey, here's a mission that needs to be done. So that's the second of 7 plot types that we commonly see come up in tabletop gaming.
Okay. I'm not
Right.
the only one, am I?
Say again, Bruce?
I'm not the only one listening, am I?
No, no.
Not at all. No.
Okay. You were talking and then you paused. I'm like, I believe you gave the inflection to where he wants us to begin talking. Okay.
What? Us talk?
Who wants to
Never.
go? Okay, you're it.
Okay.
Tag.
So I mean, looking at different things, it can be, even to the point of where it is a, not necessarily the MacGuffin, but it could also be the, oh, well, these creatures are coming into this land and they need to be stopped. That could also be that type of kind of quest. Basically it's what in the video game is like a TT, like an RPG video game are just straight up fetch quests. So go do this, come back, you get this reward. Yeah, basically, oh, we got goblins, go bring me back as many ears and I'll give you a silver for every ear you bring back, that type of thing. So I mean, truthfully, that is like with most of the gaming, that's what we do, is that we as DMs, is that's a lot of the game is doing these type of fetch quests, or to stop something, that which could be the same thing. So it's one of the most used modes in an RPG, in a tabletop RPG.
Oh yeah, most definitely. I mean, even I think it's basically maybe not the first story for RPG, but definitely the most common one.
The quest for the Holy Grail is possibly one of the really, not necessarily the oldest, but the most commonly known oldest quest, and potentially the most noble of quests, at least if you believe the stories. However, my favorite has always been for the players, where there's the big bad that they've got to fight. But in order to fight the big bad, they each need their weapon. And their weapon that, the archer needs a special bow, the fighter needs a special sword, the wizard needs a staff. This way, not only are you ensured a quest per player, but each player understands that, well, we may not find my sword until, the second or third quest, but, I got to be there for the wizard. I got to be there for the thief, because, when it comes to finding my weapon, if they've already got theirs, then awesome. If I'm lucky enough to, be the first quest on that path, you're going after, you're the wizard, and the wizard staff is the first one they find, which I would recommend, because wizards, tend to be kind of, at least in the old days, they were the weaker of the characters at the beginning. The sooner you get him to where he can, go toe to toe with the rest of the party, the better you guys all are. Better off you are. So sending them, obviously not at the very beginning, but I've done it before, where each one of them, you knew what they were looking for. The paladin was looking for his holy sword, the wizard for his staff, the barbarian or dwarf his axe and or hammer. Letting them, feel like they're actually part of it, and they're not just, the hired help. They're not doing it for someone else. They're doing it for themselves, and that puts them, so much more in the mood and, Yeah. Yeah. Thanks, James. But at some point, it's going to happen, or whether you can just, or they found their weapon in random dungeon. I find it a little bit more fun to send them on that personal quest with their bros or sisters to find their specific weapon or armor or whatever it is that they can't complete the ultimate goal of the campaign, fighting the big bad with their very specific, personalized, destined item.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, as you're going on with Sinbad in the ocean, I was actually thinking about the old, at least the first three Johnny Depp movies. Not for the Johnny Depp, the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, where he had to go
I
out.
don't want to see a movie about Johnny Depp. Sorry.
No, I'm talking about the Pirates of the Caribbean. I'm talking about the original three. I'm not talking about any other ones but the original three, where they had to go get the girl, bring her back. Only that there's more to it, and there's always more to it, and always more to it. And he continually had to go out and deal with not only the monster or the person, but it was also the trick. It's like, okay, how are we going to get home from this? Are we going to be able to come home from this? Was always kind of present in at least the first three movies.
Captain Jack Sparrow.
Yeah, my daughter told me I cannot dress up as a DM, the dungeon master off that show. I asked her why, and she looked at me very calmly. She says, "Dad, because he looks like a pedophile." I'm like, "Okay, dear." You say so. Thanks for killing my childhood. Then she passed me on the shoulder. It's okay.
Yeah. I need to get like a version of an older version of Photoshop that I can tinker with. I want to dress up Fauci like Dungeon Master.
Please don't.
Bullshit. I ain't got to explain shit. Rules.
Well, I mean, like I said before, with the monsters, you got the Hobbit, you have the Lord of the Rings.
Look. I know we mentioned the quest for the Holy Grail, but I want to go back to one of the real ancients. If you want to go for the ultimate, earliest points of go get me some crap and have an adventure along the way. Journey to the West. So, you, good old priesty monk guy, yeah, I need you to go with this monkey, with this immortal monkey asshole, and along the way, go fetch me these scrolls from the far west where Buddha's legends were there. And I don't care how long it takes you and what you do. And then proceed to read over the course of an endless book series what is the prototype of Monster of the Week and Fetch Quest / Journey to get your MacGuffin. You are going to see every shonen anime bullshit thing. Every 4.5, like last week on Journey to the West, we encountered a river demon who has an underwater kingdom. We beat that guy. We beat this other guy who could steal all of our weapons, and you encounter bullshit, endless adventures and weirdness. And it's the ultimate, like, do they ever actually reach there? I don't know. No one's finished this book. It's great. And as long as you keep the MacGuffin hanging out there beyond their reach, and you just keep going, it's your quest, and you just keep hitting them over and over. You don't need to hand them, like, here you go, Rapanathuk. Is that Journey to the West?
As well be.
It might as well be. And you can have as much fun as you want with the idea that you don't need to have this quest of, I need to, like, quick, we need to assemble these five magic weapons and suits of armor that allows us to become the Ronin warriors or Power Rangers, and to defeat the evil villain, the evil king who controls Castle Bad Skull, and who has the sword of ultimate evil, and prevent the ultimate sword from evil from being in the hand of evil. So it was grand quest and like, no, you're finding some scroll. Like, as long as they did, like, because I've had a GM who once decided that he was going to run the go fetch me the ultimate evil, and he gave us all of our cool Power Rangers / Ronin Warrior, your extreme upgrading weapons, your wizard's got his cool stick and everyone's cool and badass, and then we get the ultimate sword of goodness and evil, and then the king is like, good, now hand it over so that way I can put them in the vault. The party's like going, how the hell can we trust you to be able to guard the ultimate sword of evil and good in the same place? Well, you can trust me. I'm the good king. You hired us. If you couldn't do it, you hired us, and we did. Well, you were heroes. And that's not a good enough reason. You know what? No, we're not going to give you the ultimate sword of evil and good and all the other cool artifacts. But that's what I hired you. We have the ultimate sword of evil and good. What do you want us to? Do you think we're going to hand it over to you? No. Defend yourself. But no, we're going to burn your castle down now. Why? To prove that you can't defend the weapons. But I was supposed to hold on to them. No, all we were doing was ensuring that in approximately a generation, your son's going to go crazy, and we're all going to be killed under his weapon, under these ultimate artifacts. No, you can't hold on to them. I'll defeat you. You hired us to defeat the villain that you couldn't beat, and we beat him. You've got no chance. Oh, shit. Yeah. And then watch the players sink the entire campaign. And yes, God, an elf.
Wow.
So, is that your court? I believe that.
I believe that happened.
Hey, Bruce.
Yeah.
Bruce, real quick, there's a link I threw in your chat. Open that up and show Connell.
No.
Yes.
Winter Court. Winter Court, yes. We are all about dishonoring people and killing them.
Wait,
It's great.
Hold it up again. Kai.
Winter Court. I can't see. There we go. Winter Court. The best books ever written.
That's not what Mad looks like.
Because they go well with these other books that are Adasanuchi, The Capital. Do you want to play in fantasy, not Edo, Japan, where everyone's out to kill you, and it's all leading up to the arrival of the big scary book that's going to make everyone's life miserable? That's missing. Oh, there it is. The Scorpion Clan coup. How to murder everyone with honor by being dishonorable or how them all hold on to things. It's great. Killing people in court is the best thing to do because players are dumb Westerners and they're going to do stupid shit and thus make them cut their guts out for being dumb, ignorant fuckers because they didn't read their goddamn handbooks. Yes.
I mean, okay.
If you are a dumb, retarded Westerner and you're playing Samurai Japan, so you're playing Alpine Bar and enjoying this wonderful thing where we actually have rules on how honor works. It isn't this bullshit, I'm a paladin, I have some faggoty rules saying I can't do bad shit. No, you can't lie, you can't do anything stupid. We have rules that you have to follow. They're hidden around here somewhere. And you have gradients. If certain actions lose you points, certain actions gain you points. And at certain points, it's harder to lose it because you're already an honorless scumbag. But don't worry, somebody who's actually really honorable, and since we have hardcore fucking numbers and you can't argue with them, unlike this paladin bullshit, oh, I'm a lawful good character and I got this nebulous bullshit. No, we have hardcore rules. You follow the rules. And if you don't follow the rules, you get murdered because some guy who's your boss shows up and says, you're an honorless cocksucking bitch. I'm going to kill you now. Actually, no, I'm not going to kill you now. You're going to kill yourself. Well, I don't want to. I'm an adventurer. You're a Ronin now. You have no honor. Everybody, this guy is now honorless. He's now wiped from the ranks. You can no longer talk to anyone, sell anything. You have no friends. Your family won't touch you. You are now going to be a homeless beggar with nothing. Good luck with this. I'm going to go out and be murdered by everyone in the area around you. I hope you've enjoyed yourself. But you're talking back to me. Kill him. And you get no choice. You get no say. You are just a corpse. And we're going to have some peasants touch your corpse, and they're going to throw you into the dumpster as we erase your name, your existence, and you will have nothing. You will be nothing. And then your soul will go off and be nothing. It'll be reborn as the lowest scum. And you'll have to work for several generations to ever become anything. And your ancestors will shun you. There is nothing about it. Be a murder hobo, please. I will happily throw your corpse off of the wall into the demon-infested marshes and let them devour you, your flesh and your soul for all eternity. And I will enjoy every second of it. Please.
Well, now there was that.
Well, it was the 9 o'clock hour, so you get the free beer now.
Yeah. You got your beer token. Let me get those chips on the way, and you'll have some very fine African beer. This is the same beer recipe we used by the pyramid builders, so you'll have enough protein for tomorrow to do your heavy lifting.
Woo! I will drive drunk. It'd be great.
Dude, I totally get it, man. And I've watched people play L5R. I've never played L5R. I've never played it for a very good reason. I'm not from that culture. I would die fast. That's all there is to it. I would die fast.
I understand. But the thing here is that if you're working it up right, and the old rule and the old character sheets, I don't have one, but they used to actually include to you the rules on what you need to do, what 5 virtues you need to personify. And oh shoot, there's actually another guide. Let's see here. GM Survival Guide, I think, is a good one that has how to make honor actually manageable by human beings who, aren't Japanese. But, there's guides on how to actually do this right. You just have to do research. I have an entire shelf of this crap. This is my game. And
is it your favorite game?
Tied. But it's my favorite role-playing game because it's actually a functional culture, but it's not quite weeaboo RPG, but it might as well be. And it's for weebs, I admit that. But the thing is that it's a nice change of pace from everyone's playing random, slightly Anglo-Saxon, could be Franco, might be a little bit Germanic, barbarians running around with swords hacking each other in metal plate because nobody can be civilized enough to play a Roman campaign. So you're all playing this dysfunctional Crusader Kings mentality of where every 5 minutes you have a retard going, "Great attack!" And because you've had a thought and you discovered this thing called reading, and oh shit, I'm sorry, fuck. Yes, you're right. Never trust a Bayushi. Well, technically, you really should trust anyone who wears red and a mask. But we won't talk about that one. And never get into a poetry contest with anyone who's wearing blue. Mountains are weird. I love it all. God damn it. And horse fuckers who wear purple.
What? Wait.
No,
Wait.
no, you don't need.
Wait.
What? You don't know that one? That one's a fun story. I'll leave that one for the adult conversation later.
Yes, please.
I'm thinking about this, and I'm wondering what would John Belushi from the Samurai Night Fever be doing?
Crab.
I'm sorry, Blaine.
Be a crab. Have fun.
I like the culture. I do. I'm not from it. I don't read up on it enough. I've got only so many hours in my day, and I don't have time for Audible to educate me as much as I'd like it to.
Yeah, I understand. I'm not faulting anyone. I really am not. I'm not. It's just that if I ever find like a group of people who will want to play, I will be like, please give me. I want to do this. I will play anything. I will enjoy it.
I'm going to put your personals in the Legion of Myth looking for group section, and you're going to have people wanting to play L5R on the web. I can guarantee you.
Look, as long as I don't have to end up having to actually run digging out my actual tea ceremony set or figuring out where my go board went, to actually play this properly and do everything right, yes, it's great.
Kai, have you ever been a player in a game like that, or just the GM?
No, I've been a player, and it's great. I got to watch somebody help orchestrate the murder of somebody by their own hand. It was beautiful. It took an entire weekend of literally helping, being the right-hand man of this individual, and they were having fun orchestrating things. And I was actually their librarian, well, an Akoma librarian / Shugenja historian, who was just running around in the background, being his personal right-hand man while he was manipulating a crane to get himself murdered. And I was like, this was the greatest session in the entire world. Like, I enjoyed that weekend so much. And I've also run games where I've had a go board set up in the background and been like, while I'm running, nobody can play the same color twice. And it was a running game for like 3 or 4 sessions, and it was like while Winter Court was going on, because it was a wonderful event. And in the end, somebody got murdered. It was great. I've run it too much, and I love it. And I've only had a chance to play twice, but both times were majestically wonderful. And to the point where I'm just like, do you want to play a paladin? Okay, sure. I'll play Baby's first iron rule set. What? What do you mean? Paladins are fucking noble and fantastic, and your rules are fucking basic and goddamn boring. They're no effort whatsoever. I can't lie, no problem. I've played Honor 5 before. You can't steal. I've already played Honor 5 character. What new are you gonna throw at me? You gotta help people. Okay, I played a samurai. I have no idea what the problem here is. Well, how do I make you fall? You don't. There you go. There's the answer. You don't. Because you're not going to put me in. I know that because we're playing a Western RPG, you're not going to throw me into an actual situation where I need to worry about my personal honor and my family. Where I got to put the needs of the realm over the needs of my family and my honor over myself. Because all we're going to do is fight Trogdor, the knuckle-dragging warrior war boss. Okay, I gotta be a good guy, no problem. Are you gonna rubber stamp everybody else? My personal honor does not fuck with everybody else's personal honor. I don't care. And there's a whole lot to it. Dear God.
I love the dryness of that comment right there.
What?
That is some very dry humor, Darren P. And that is a very, very true comment right there. He loves his L5R.
I do. The hell takes the only one that trumps it. Only one that trumps it.
I honestly think that L5R, and you're going to probably get upset with me. In fact, hot take, I think a properly ran Dune RPG, doesn't matter really what system you're using, but if somebody were to take Frank Herbert's world and works that he did, and they understood it. They understood there's a lot of noble houses, there's a lot of places, Spice Melange is a thing, blah, blah, blah. But I think if somebody did that, they would make a sci-fi version of L5R with its own customs, and it's probably been done already. Yeah, hell, I'll even say that. But I think you would have Kai orgasming over the fact that there are now 2 really good RPGs out there with their own built-in culture, with their own lore, which spans thousands of pages, And all it would take would be just a DM that grew up with it, or somebody that had a lot of free time for 2 weeks to read through all of it and then get ready to play. Because get ready to play. And I would be happy with that. And he wouldn't be always going back to his default L5R love.
Yeah.
Sean Driscoll said Dune is just a setting is all. Absolutely.
It is. The thing is that most people are they're like, we're gonna do a Dune game. Oh good. Are we gonna play let me guess, we're playing on Arrakis. Well, yeah, that's Dune.
Why would you play on Arrakis?
But everyone fucking brain farts and defaults back down to living in a sandbox. The rest of the empire exists.
Yeah, there's worlds. There's so many fucking worlds. Like I know this sounds Jaide Prime is rife for opportunities for sales, for logistics, for fetch quests. You could have an entire campaign. You could have a generational campaign on Jaide Prime alone.
I know.
It would be like playing Alien and only going after the xenomorphs.
But the thing here is, it's like
There's so much more to do.
Go ahead.
And
Go ahead.
the new RPG is actually good because you don't play a character. The party, when they build when your party comes together, you're not building a party of misfits. You're building a noble house, and you have and one of the characters that you're pretty much building is your home world, because you are a noble house runs your world. And because of the Spacers Guild, you can't send armies, you send strike teams. Because you can't transport an army, you need a strike team. The setting is designed for an elite group of people going in and murdering guards, having adventures in what would be considered dungeons or castles, and murdering nobles and having cool fights. You might steal a spaceship. You might have this. You don't have the Harkonnen assault on Arrakis very often. You have small strike teams because you remember, the Baron bankrupted himself for like 80 years to prepare for that one attack. You're not going to get that. But most people are like, hey, we're going to play Dune, and we're all going to sit here on the Dune rock with the worms and the Fremens. Okay, cool. You want to all be Fremen, but you want to be cool? Cool. We're going to fast forward past Children of Dune, and it's like, we're going to go from Dune to past Children of Dune to God Emperor, and now you can be part of the grand fucking crusade across the stars. You could be launching the jihad against the world, crushing all and everyone, and subjugating it under the God Emperor. You could be doing that. You could be enjoying the idea of how do you does your house resist Paul? Like, did you accept when the Emperor decided to go, or did you try to resist? Do you try to do something? Do you work with other forces? Do you covertly support him, or are you trying to work in the background and trying to wait for the moment when Paul is not paying attention, and then you get smashed by the Fremen? You could enjoy every bit of this, but damn it, nobody fucking runs this right. Because sandworms important, David Lynch is good. Fuck that movie.
Hey, Toto is awesome.
Look, the music was good. The movie is visually interesting. It is not Dune. It is distinctly not Dune.
I mean, to your opinion, have they actually made a Dune movie?
Kinda. The new one is kinda good. But I'll take kinda good over whatever David Lynch gave us.
Hey, I'll take Twin Peaks over the Dune.
I'll take that too. Look, at least at that point, David Lynch was creating his own freaking story and not just being like, generic sci-fi thing. Sandworms, they're supposed to ride them. Okay, cool. My name's a killing word. No, it's not. No, it's fucking not. The weirding way. It shoots laser beams. No, it doesn't. Sonic Buckets. Just stop.
So back to
Stop.
someone on the topic. I made a comment with Shadow and Sons that the whole adventuring, going out and coming back, and I was I keep thinking of Dante's Inferno when Dante makes it through the levels of hell and comes back out, and that's very much on the topic of what we're talking tonight. But as a joke, I said, well, after you're done reading Dante's Inferno, go read Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. It's the same damn book. And so you have your hero in Charlie, who is a poor kid that lives basically, with Grandpa and Grandma's and his mom. He gets the chance to go storm the fortress, aka Wonka's chocolate factory. He goes through basically all the major sins: pride, gluttony, envy, greed, and he comes out the other end as a better person for
I don't
it.
remember Lust in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Which one?
Lust.
I don't think Lust was in Willy Wonka.
That's
maybe
Smoke
not. Maybe not in a sexual way, but it might have been there. I'm just not catching it.
Well, you had the two grandmas and two grandpas who were in bed all bed together.
Lust isn't always sexual in nature. That there's a huge misunderstanding
my
with
book.
the 7 deadly sins, and greed is not just avarice for something somebody else has. Gluttony isn't just eating yourself to death. Gluttony can be gluttonous for attention, can be gluttonous for a great many things, not just food. And lust isn't just sexual in nature. Lust can be an overwhelming love or a need for something. It's not. Again, that's one of the major failings of translation from old texts of the 7 deadly sins.
Right.
Sorry, I had to jump in on that because, again, as far as like lust in Willy Wonka, the lust of power was there. There was a lust for power, but
Yeah.
it was kind of an undertone. It wasn't ever like brought to the forefront. It was the Mr. What's his face, the guy who was working for Wonka but pretending to go to the kids and be like, hey, if you bring me back the gobstopper, I'll pay you X amount of dollars. That wasn't necessarily greed. That was lust of power, and to see if they would bite into that lust for power or lust for the money and whatnot. So anyway, sorry, I had to jump in on that.
No, it's fine. I'm just like trying to get back to a roundabout topic that we were on. And Willy Wonka versus Dante Inferno, I figured it wasn't a bad port to stop the what the fuck are we talking about ship that normally sometimes happens.
True.
Well, that would be a Tablebreakers stream if we didn't go off topic. I don't know how you guys would function. I mean, we'd be done within 13 minutes.
That's true. I mean, I feel kind of bad that no one's brought up the Strippers Guild. Leaving the home as a young man.
You just did it. You just did it.
You just did.
Roll!
God damn it.
We have to find a way to merch that.
Imprint or Teespring. I recommend Imprint. Imprint does more. Actually, talk to Max Leal and ask him where he does his main store at, because
Redbubble.
Redbubble? Okay, yeah. Anything could go on a mug to a T-shirt or a gym bag, dude. Any of it.
I mean, it's been on other shows that we haven't been on, but the Stripper Guild has been brought up. So I figured we need to find a way to merch that.
This is true. My wife brought up something. A party of Starfinder envoys would be the only way to play a Dune RPG.
No, you can have your duelist, and you got Get your Gurney
You could easily
Alex.
play in Traveler. I don't see why you couldn't play in Traveler.
Yeah, we could run Dune and Traveler very easily. It'd be great. Yeah, and Redbubble has all the
Technically, you could even run it. You could even run it in Star Frontiers, even though everybody hates that system.
I don't. I love it. Actually, I like just using basic D&D as my go-to because Max Leal and I had a big discussion on it, and I said, I actually could do this. I was like, fuck it. I will do this. I know you guys are all tired of 6 stats. What? Strength, dexterity, constitution. Bruce, shut up. Stop it. It's too much.
But the thing
No,
is, man,
I've run other games with using the dungeons, using the original AD&D engine. I
No,
actually
see-
ran quite a few games.
You just had one more cleanliness.
Technically, I know a DM in this chat panels use the 7th stat on me every so often.
Comeliness?
Absolutely.
Because we were talking to Sean earlier, and he's like, "Charisma. What do you guys use charisma for?" I'm like, sometimes I use it for the way the person acts and the way the person looks. And that was
I always separate the two. Always, they're
Yeah.
completely different definitions. Completely different.
Comeliness
You can have
is good.
a high one and a low the other easily. So many people, especially in Hollywood, have a high comeliness, but their charisma in real life is dog food.
Yeah,
Right.
charisma is the force of personality, whereas appearance is, their outward appearance, what they, project out for people to see. And the two are
And
very,
for those-
very separate.
For those divorcees out there, I'm sure you guys all know exactly what I'm talking about.
yeah.
Listen, those two songs need love too.
Mhm.
Oh, wait, my bad. Where's your house like this?
Ugh. But I mean, we definitely beat the monster back in the cave on that topic. I don't think Rindle will be sticking his head out, so we don't need to summon Beowulf for a while when it comes to monsters. We kind of roundly went with the Grand Adventure. We mainly stopped in Japan and stayed there for about 30 minutes, but that's all right.
Shush. Shush, it's not my fault all of you are lazy and use Tolkien as your fucking reference point.
I don't use just tokens. Sometimes I use Chicago.
I'm sorry that 3/4 of the people who write fantasy are all, well, I guess I'm gonna go loot me some Tolkien now, or maybe some Conan the Barbarian. Yeah, why? Because that's all I need in my life. Sword and sorcery and some elves. Yeah, but my elves are purple in this world. Woo! Fuck it.
I think I've seen that movie.
That was pure nightmare fuel. Thank you.
No problem. I honestly love that movie. That's one of my favorite movies of all time. That's Caveman with Ringo Starr and Dennis Quaid. I've seen it before. Absolute best movie from 1980. And I know people are like, but Bruce, that's the year Empire Strikes Back came out. I know. And maybe I'm wrong, but the year that Caveman came out, I've watched Caveman more than any other movie, even more than Big Trouble in Little China. And I blame that on a you skip stoned all the time.
God, Little Trouble in Big Chinatown. I love that movie. I loved that movie growing up. I always wonder how they got away with having a beholder in their film, but that's just me.
Because it wasn't a straight beholder.
That's true.
They called it something else.
The Guardian.
Yeah, the Guardian.
Also, yeah, it also wasn't a straight beholder. It
True.
was much more different.
Like 20%.
At least.
Final Fantasy games have had beholder lookalikes for years. like since actually, yeah, Final Fantasy 1. They've had the
So-
one-eyed tentacle monster.
And so the only reason why that anyone goes, it's a beholder. Sorry, no, not everybody has floating one giant floating eyeball, angry mouth. But oh wait, so is this? Yeah, whatever. There's some weird ass shit when you start going back to historical monsters here, guys. They weren't all just. I'm sorry, the entirety of fantasy did not just start from fucking TSR.
Oh, I
Sorry.
know. I've been watching
Two fucking dead people didn't create the entire fantasy universe here, guys. Sorry, there were monsters before TSR.
I've got thousands of books that are
There's Ray Harryhausen.
clear influences upon D&D. So yeah, I'm aware of that.
Yeah. But how did they get away with that TSR? TSR can go fuck itself, but anybody who loves it can go fuck themselves. The idea of they're the Defier. No, they're not. They go, fuck you. They stole like everybody else did. They just managed to beat y'all to the copyright first. And most of you don't give a shit. And most of you don't. And everyone else goes, fuck it. Ours is red and has 3 eyeballs instead. And it's called I don't know, something that's not yours. Also, we have dragons too. Our game's called Dungeons and Dragons. We have who gives a shit? It's fucking dragons existed before you, but we did it first. But we did it better. Yeah! Fuck you.
Yep.
Fuck it.
There's this YouTube channel called Mythology and Fiction Explained, and I've been going through their videos on the mythology around the world. Right now, I'm doing the Native American folklore. And I'm mainly being raised on Romanian/Irish mythology, with there being a lot of things in those make you say, "Oh God." The Native Americans have some real nightmare fuel. I mean, the Wendigo.
So does the Russians. Russians are also terrifying.
To skinwalkers. To a few other things. It's like, oh my God.
Uh-huh.
And I want to at least find a culture out there that doesn't have their version of a vampire. It might not be called a vampire, but
Yeah, everybody's got one. It's like Swedish meatballs. Everybody's got a recipe.
That's right. And it will drive you mad if you ever figure out how or why.
Connell, I love you, man.
Yes.
Connell, like you are that Roman Moroni from the movie Living Dangerously, or the Johnny Dangerously with Michael Keaton. You mispronounce a lot of things.
oh yeah.
You need to watch that movie. You'll find that you can be very successful and do that in life, like Roman Moroni. He was famous for that in that movie, and he was like a multimillionaire.
I made fun of myself by calling myself the old bartender off Boondock Saints, because this match shit's got to go.
Yeah, I could see you going fuck ass for a few days. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
James pops out some Russian. If anybody wants to decipher that and let us know what it says. I'm sure he knows exactly what he typed there.
Where's Max when we need him?
I know, right?
He speaks commie too.
Mosquitoes are state bird of Alaska. Most watched movie of all time is The Fifth Element. Oh, okay. Vince Smith is greater than the level of TR, which is better than TSR. Tunnels and Tunes. He's Ricky from Trailer Park Boys. Ooh, life is not enjoyed, it is endured. That's true.
Yeah. I am not Ricky. I'm Bubbles, bastard.
I don't watch Trailer Park Boys. I only know who that is thanks to the memes.
DM James's Russian thing is life is not enjoyed, it is endured.
Yeah.
Yay, Google Translate.
So I got to ask, what else do you want to know about this? Because there's some other things on this deep dive that I would like to get into. And actually, some of it is from the Praise Ye Magenta box, which I'm sure once I start to recite the canon of that, Blaine will combust into a pillar of flame and salt.
Probably.
But no,
Good. That's more
no
stuff I
lies,
can
I'll
cut
take-
out. There's more of this I can cut out and send to him so he can actually upload it to his own channel.
What did I call? What did I call?
Effort.
No, you gotta do is
Guy
upload it.
last night, Rhinosaurus. We miss our dear Rhinosaurus.
Oh, yeah. What was that?
Oh, I was talking about tonight.
I
Last
don't
time I was
know.
talking about tonight, and I said hopefully Baron and Bruce and our dear Rantosaurus Kai will be there.
well, like the thing is, I want to be here for all. I wanted to be there last night, but last night I worked too damn hard after I got done digging a trench, finding something, and
Nemo.
I looked and I'm like, okay, refill my kidneys with moisture and then die. Lay down and die, Bruce. And I did. I went to bed and I didn't wake up till about 4:44 this morning.
4:40.
I do that. My brain has the automatic clock in it, or one of those old 1980s style black with the red digital numbering on it. And I'll wake up at like 2:22 or 5:55 or things like that. If it's 6 o'clock or later, I'm already up. My brain won't let me enjoy sleeping in. I have to focus. I have to go and like exercise, take a large poop, and then I can go back to sleep again. But I have to do those things first because otherwise I just am laying in bed till 9 o'clock, not getting any sleep, staring at the ceiling, counting all the little divots in the ceiling, listening to the
But Bruce, you're married, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. We handle that at night, not during the day.
Oh,
Soon.
soon, soon. That's an open-ended statement there, Kai. Soon what? Soon marriage or soon to bed?
Sleep soon.
Oh. Yeah, he's telling us that he's hit his pillow 30 moment. So I don't know. I didn't want to exactly constrain us to a 2-hour time limit. You know, being that this is my channel, I understand that algorithms going to be different throughout the years, and it will reward 30 minutes for certain videos and 2 hours for other videos, and other streams will let you go 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 hours long. We aren't going to.
Hey, if you want to keep on going without me, go ahead. I just gotta go to work in the morning. So
okay. Well, tell you what, Kai, I'm going to blow you up real quick, and I'm going to let everybody know you can rant or you can take aim if you so choose at something, but you can make your graceful exit after you do your own personal sayonara, and we will thank you for it.
I really don't have anything. Honestly, I don't have anything more really to scream about. I mean, sure, I screamed about something in private. I just forgot what I said. No. It's so far in the past, it doesn't really matter. But no, just great. Put me on stage. I don't have anything. I literally, I'm tired and exhausted. So
okay. Well,
Just
that's
enjoy
where I was
yourself.
yesterday at 6.
He blew his wad twice tonight. Give him a break.
yeah,
Hey, it's like 4 times.
it takes a little time to build up rage, and I don't have any left right now.
It was longer than 30
Gotta
seconds.
give him at least a half hour to recharge, right?
Right.
Yeah, at
Yeah,
least.
it's 24 minutes. I mean, he went longer than 30 seconds both times. That's saying a lot.
Mhm.
Sure.
Especially once you hit a certain age, yeah.
Yeah, You know what? With that, I'm out. Enjoy the rest of your night, guys.
Good seeing you again, guys. Good seeing you
I'll
again,
call
man.
next week or whatever I see you next.
I think Rob Williams was designing a pill for that called "Fuck It All." That might help.
Well, I didn't mean for him to leave so quickly, but I do want him to not crash. So it's fine, and I accept the fact that he leaves at the 2-hour and 14 or 15-minute mark. If others need to leave sometime soon, or if they've gotten everything off their chest and they think this is a perfect stopping point, we can go ahead and stop. If you guys need to stretch out a topic a little further and beat on Mr. Ed, that's cool. I'm willing to go either way with that. and I think that's a fair way to educate it, because there are sometimes where we won't see somebody for like 2 or 3 weeks. Somebody might be absent for a while, or something might happen. So if they've got the fire in their belly, go for it. Oh, puppy cam.
My God, Baron, could you two be any cuter?
You hit the right.
Mark's like, not me, not me, not me. Oh, that's some puppy love.
Good job, puppy
Puppy love.
Oh my God.
He's happy.
Oh my God. 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 Oh gosh. Oh gosh. What's up?
And now there's a great big puddle in your lap.
Nope. Yeah, there is. His name's Puddles.
His name was like Brock.
So we wave it to people. We wave it to people. Wave it to people. Okay.
So Garrett, I gotta ask, how old is he?
He is right around a year old, actually.
Wow.
Okay. And what breed is that? Is that a little terrier?
He is a Jack Russell Asian Terrier mix.
Ooh.
And Rocky is an old man, and he doesn't want to come in here to see me, so it's okay. He's hanging out with Mama, making sure she does not leave again. He was very upset.
After the recent findings with Mama, I'd rather have one of the dogs with her at all times.
Yes. He's probably in his kennel hiding, but
That's how some good boys are. I'll get you off the big screen here. Hold on.
Thank you.
I gotta ask.
Although, wait. If you want to throw me back up, I did 3D print a nifty little thing using some wood PLA. I'm still working on. No, actually, it's you put a soda or beer can in it, or you can use it as a dice cup. But I'm in the process of painting him up and making him look all pretty.
Tiki set. Sort of.
No, not a tiki set.
Jeez.
It's
not the 60s. People don't do tiki sets anymore. We do Viking horns and mugs, right?
I would totally do citronella tiki, because I don't like mosquitoes when I game outside.
Yeah.
Can I get off the big screen
outside?
Well, in Texas, during the months of January and February, it's completely available to you because it's only like 60 degrees. So if you're on vacation in Texas, you can just game outside and enjoy the nice weather in your shorts, and people will know that you're not from here because they're walking around in North Face jackets and coats. It's hilarious.
Can I get off the big screen now?
Oh, Jesus.
So needy.
So, next week we want to tackle 2 more of the types of adventures and plots that I think we should be tackling in tabletop games. And if anybody has any residual thoughts from Monster of the Week and or The Quest, I think that'd be a good idea, because I don't know. I'm just kind of reading the room here, not feeling it from everybody. Like, yeah, I got 10,000 things to say. No, Kai left, and he said that at about 8 o'clock tonight.
True.
I think we did a good job.
Not bad. We didn't do bad. I enjoyed it. I had a good time as the moderator host, and looks like this character's cape is almost done. I'm happy. Garrett, do you have anything going on within the next week, or are you going to be laying it low while you take care of other business, I assume?
Well, I am probably going to be. I guess I could take that off because that's even freaking me out now. Here, we'll go full anime. There we go. We'll just go anime. So, what's the other one? That one? Yeah, there we go. That actually, this is what I really like. So, but I look what?
You look like a Goran Kin doll.
Yes,
like the geeky little brother.
Wow.
Yeah.
My son would absolutely go nuts over that. I've got to find out how to get that.
So, I I'll be doing probably some live streams. A few people have asked me and been twisting my arm for about 3 weeks now to return back to Twitch. So I'm in the process of getting that squared away to be doing some gaming back on Twitch.
Can I recommend you get a Rumble channel?
I have a Rumble channel and an Odyssey channel.
Do you do anything exclusively on them, or do you just not?
Nope. Anything that I put on YouTube automatically rolls over to the other two.
I'll be putting together an intro for my Rumble channel, and if I do anything that's going to be super spicy, I'll be doing it on Rumble. As much as I like Odyssey, I want to test the boundaries of Rumble because that's the one I'm paying into.
I like using Rumble to watch certain things. I actually prefer that to some of the other stuff. Odyssey always gave me trouble when I want to watch certain other content creators. Rumble seems to be the big guy right now.
I just got an email from them 72 or 96 hours ago saying that Rumble is now stable, or Odyssey is now stabilized, so you don't have buffering when you're trying to watch something. So I'll give it another try. I've got an account over there myself, but I'd like to think that we have more than one choice for free speech streaming. And the things I've seen from Rumble lately, I need to get hot on it tonight after we leave here, because I really missed some important news. I feel like there was a big story that exploded yesterday or the day before that is choking all the oxygen out of the room. And the other news that I want to listen to is not being reported on because something horrible happened in West Texas, or just an hour west of here. And I know I sound like I'm petty, but I truly feel that is the case. And
one of these days, Bruce, we're gonna have to compare channels that we watch, because I think I've got some that you'd like, and vice versa.
Yeah,
and I'd really like to pick your brain when it comes to that, because
we're gonna have a discussion in the green room after this, and we'll. I have a few things that I want to listen to that you have to say about it, because I think we're on the same path on this one.
Probably.
Okay, Connell, what are you keen up to do this week?
Well, Sunday. Me and Shadow, actually Sunday, and me and Shadow and Son will be reviewing the first Dresden book, Stormfront. You and Baron are more welcome, and Jade are more than welcome to join us if you wish, if you have time, because we talk about Dresden enough on this show. I figure I might as well do a review on my channel of the book. So we're starting with Stormfront, and we'll see how that goes, and maybe we'll do Foul Moon maybe in a month or two. We'll just see how things are going. I thought is it Full Moon or Foul Moon?
Full Moon.
Full.
Full. Yeah. Man, I'm out of it. So that's what I'm doing Sunday. Saturday, I have game with a very cool DM. He is slightly sadistic. He doesn't believe in he doesn't believe in VTT. He had killed my character 2 weeks ago, not once, not twice, but 3 times. And I am back as an elf. And I'm making this work because, God, I don't want
to. Connell, at least he lets you keep your gender.
I mean, DM ideas. I don't really have to worry about that, considering what he did to my ex-wife. Here's a trap.
Okay, that really didn't sound.
She was talking too much, so she got petrified.
No, the belt.
Go ahead.
The belt, Bruce.
Oh yeah, the belt. Yeah, she got the most famous belt in D&D lore. the belt of gender bender. Got petrified. Your wife had a lot of, like, in her brief time at my table, she did have a lot of tragic events happen, which is probably one of the reasons why she's not at my table again.
That's
Because I would be like, "Hey, Karen, do you want to play a game? You want to get back in the game with us?"
Oh, I actually went back. I went back through your channel, on your channel. I was looking at some of the old videos back from the game room days.
Yeah.
And that one video is up to 179 views.
That's not bad considering it was just a small altercation between you and a certain individual who shall remain nameless.
So,
yeah. Okay. Are you releasing any content here along with the Sunday stream, which I'm looking forward to watching? What else do you have on the mixer for us? So I know you.
That's really about it. I've been kind of hanging out with Mr. Driscoll and his Shauner off and on this past week on his channel, just making fun of Star Trek role players, which is kind of fun. But other than that, nothing else.
Yeah, I need to see that video because I do love a good Star Trek RP, and I really like it when people try to run authentic Trek, but they're not good. Sorry. I need to watch that.
Actually, there's a video that he did with the game where you are having to play a drow, and the system looks like under the right DM could be really fun. So I might have to look for that one. I think it was called Spline. I don't know. I have to look back.
Spire.
Spire. Yeah, Spire.
Yeah. I would. You couldn't pay me to play that game.
It's not. I'm not going to play it in the game because I really think it just had a lazy ass DM.
No, the entire concept to me is just. There's a whole bunch of levels of it that I
You never know until you play it. That's how I am with most of these games. I never know what.
No, I knew instantly. I knew instantly.
Yeah.
I knew. Yeah.
Also, one thing I forgot on Saturday, hopefully, if everything is working correctly, is I will also be doing the second session of my Pathfinder game starting about 6 Central. So it might overlap with Bruce's a little bit. So.
Oh no! Well, especially if he does another freaking 9
we
hours.
We won't be playing 9 hours straight.
Yeah.
Well, shit. I know Bruce.
Yeah. So do I.
I don't know yet. I don't know yet. Jade just sent a message in private chat. He has to get going. Jade,
okay.
If you want to give your adieu. Thank you, sir.
Yep. That's
good seeing you again,
man.
I had a good chat, sir.
And then there were 4.
I hope we didn't mess up his topics. I really hope not. Because everybody had ideas when they came into the chat, and it's just better let them get it out, and we'll circle back to the topic at hand.
Agreed.
She's got to know though. We start talking about monsters, and that's just gonna, that's just gonna mushroom out.
I would like to, yes. Sorry, can't. I was looking at something when he said mushroom out, and my brain went in 3 different directions with that statement.
Mantis and Cloud.
So, I think you might get in trouble for this, Bruce. I'm not going to recommend us doing it, but I got the trailer loaded up for the new Willow series on Disney Plus.
I just saw that. I mean. Well, go ahead.
We can do that behind the scenes, I guess. I think we're getting ready to cut it, aren't we?
Oh, somebody likes me.
Yes, an absolute sweetheart of a woman does. That's one of my stream buddies on Sundays with Machini 90.
That's it's the first time for me. Never seen that name before. Nice to meet you.
She is a crafter. She's a very good crafter of a woman. She does she gets the dolls from the craft store and she starts
You need to go over to our channel and sub like right now. Right now.
I was actually kind of thinking about taking the page out of your book and getting a bunch of old Barbie dolls and my daughter and see what we can do with them.
Oh, Lord.
You know, believe it or not, a guy I really am not fond of, Black Magic Craft. He did a really interesting craft doing scenery for like an Oblivion like hell from the video game, where he actually used a large baby doll head and made it look like a part of a statue that was creepy as hell. So you might want to check him out.
My daughter is really good.
Hey, you didn't subscribe. I'm watching my thing here.
I just put it in his chat. Come on now. Give her a second. Jeez. Our fingers can only go so fast.
Bang, shove, boom, boom.
I swear to God, Baron.
Jesus Christ.
Low hanging fruit. I will go every time. I love low hanging fruit.
I think we all do.
I mean,
I've streamed with Mads for the past almost 2 years on Sundays. Whenever I have a usual stream with Machini, it's me and her and Machini, and he runs a good stream. He does a good channel. He has amazing art. Mads has got great hands. She works with dolls. She's really good with dolls. I can't highlight that enough. Just saying.
We do action figures, so
hey, somebody subscribe to me.
Nice. Very nice.
All right. So
I'll throw her link in the chat and you guys can subscribe to her because she is
thanks, Matt.
She's fantastic. And she says she's a short stack, so low hanging fruit's ideal. She says she's short, so low hanging fruit. Okay. Well,
on that note,
real quick, here's a story I can share with the YouTube.
Uh-oh.
My daughter has this little boy calling her. She doesn't want to deal with the little boy. He keeps calling. And my daughter's like, Dad, would you just, make excuses for me? I'm like, okay. So he keeps calling. And I'm like, oh, hi. Are you calling from Maggie? Mm-hmm. Well, she's busy right now. And he's like, I'll call back later. He keeps calling. And I, she's kind of busy. But, you go play video games. And doing his voice. And I guess Dad overheard it. Dad snatched the phone. It's like, who the hell's talking to my son? I'm like, I'm sorry. He's calling my phone and talking to my daughter. My daughter is busy, and he just kept blowing up my phone. So I decided to have a little fun. He's like, you didn't say anything. I'm like, no, I wouldn't. I was just, having some fun. He's like, is there any way you can leave me a message on my phone so I can use that as an answering machine call? Hi, you've reached. Hello, you've reached. He's busy buying lollipops and looking some Hot Wheels and doing other kind of cool things with his strong, manly arms. And I did a whole, minute of it. He gave me $100 for it.
Dude.
Damn.
Dude.
Okay, right off the bat, you may want to,
get a lawyer.
No. Stay on his good side. I'll just put it that way.
Like seriously, if I were you, you could go get yourself a cheap ass website, go upload like 20 to 25 little voice samples of you and your voice inflections at different pitches and octaves, and I think you could do it. And I think you could actually market yourself to not just the people in the Pekin and Peoria area, which is it used to be the talent capital of America. I don't want to hear it. Used to be. So you got some good people in that area, but that's kind of past too. But I'm telling you, get yourself a website set up, and that could be a start for you making some extra money. And
Offer customs, custom
Oh, yeah.
messages. You'll definitely get people more interested. But hopefully they won't, want you to say anything that's,
Yeah. Here's my line. Nothing over PG-13.
No. Let the customer pay for that line to be moved. Be thinking about the wallet, not about your when you're an actor, when you're a performer, let the payee help determine where the line is, because if you're just doing voice inflections and voices over a phone, and 30 seconds later, okay, thank you for the money, dude, you just milk that. That's a nice talent to have.
Oh, yeah, no, I have fun with it. And I was just messing around because the kid kept blowing up my phone. Found out the guy had like 2 older kids, teenagers, and one's always blowing up somebody else's phone, and his oldest daughter's always having her phone blow up. So he completely understood what was going on.
and then went and had a man-to-man talk with the boy. I hope.
I haven't got a phone call since.
Not bad.
Yeah.
And you made $100. I consider that a win.
Ooh, yes, yes, indeed.
All right. Well, I believe this wraps up everything for our Thursday night stream of Table Breakers. We will be back next week with another couple to 3 topics that we want to highlight for adventure and other style tabletop games. My name is Bruce Lombardo, and I am blessed to be in a company of a man by the name of Shadow and Sun and G-Rock, Connell, and earlier we had Kai and Jaide, 2 really good friends of mine that I probably don't spend enough time with, but we are all grown-ass men, and we are all very busy. So the fact we are able to set aside 2 hours a week for this, I really can't tell. I mean, it's great to be able to connect with them at the same time again and have a good dynamic between friends. But I would love to have an 8-hour session where we didn't have an 8-hour requirement to be somewhere else doing something else, either for money or for family. But what time I get with these guys is great. And once again, with the chat, I have to say thank you. If you are here as part of the replay and you made it this far, I really thank you, because you are in 2 hours and 37 minutes. If you stop in for just a little bit, that's great. Go ahead, give a like. Garrett dropped the links to everyone else's channel in here. If you like what we talk about, you should go to my friends' channels and subscribe and check out some of their videos too, because they're pretty talented. Watch Shadow and Son. It's a father-son combo, and they go through the gamut of hobby and tabletop crafting items. They do a lot of miniature painting like what I do. They do a lot of miniature reviews, which is fantastic. And even better, the father has started to introduce his son to the movies that he watched as a boy. So you get to hear a man who has watched it for decades and a young man's perspective as his father reveals these wonderful movies to him through the course of time. It's a real treat, and I'm really happy to be able to call Shadow and Son friends of mine.
Thanks, sir.
Oh no!
Where do you guys feel we got for next month? We're gonna pull some moldy oldies that I hope you guys all enjoy. Some movies that my old man introduced me to, made me sit down and watch them, and I am going to carry that tradition on as long as the little guy is still living under my roof, and even when he's not, and he's in the serving this great country of ours. I'm still going to send him recommendations, and maybe he can get his friends to watch some of these classic movies that will probably disappear if we're not careful.
That's a scary thought. Internet, YouTube, everybody, I thank you so much for being here, and I'm going to sign off at this point. Go ahead, guys, take us on out of here.
Goodbye.
Everybody, we'd just like to thank you for spending a little time with us, listening to us talk about something that we love. Have a good night.
Speaking of love, play games you love with people you love. Have a great weekend, guys and gals. And thanks again, Mads.
And we should be out right